MPRV News. I like the wraparound thing, or whatever you call it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I call it the
There's
box.
a certain name for him, but
yeah. I call it the box because I don't remember what it's called either. Welcome to Manchester. Or to Manchester, I see, here I am. Welcome to Leeds.
Yeah.
Not your first time here, as we were just talking about your gig in '84 at the Beer Keller.
Mm-hmm.
Some interesting stories coming out of that one with the Upstarts and
Yeah, it was Menzie from the Upstarts did a solo show, and there was like a reggae guy did a solo show too, like Spartacus was his name.
Okay.
Yeah, and Nick Toxic, famous guy in the early scene, maybe still is, I don't know. I hope he's doing well. He organized the show, and that was cool for me. Part of my family came from Yorkshire, so it was really a fun thing to get up here. You know, it's from my grandmother's from Boston Spa and Ilkley and Keithley and stuff like that. Somewhere around there, anyways, right? So, yeah.
So this is coming home for you in a way.
Yeah, it's always great to get back to Yorkshire. So, and then we've had some crazy, wild control shows, mainly at the old Duchess. Was the place where usually there was the best shows we ever had here, right? So, yeah.
And it's changed a bit over the years, and but
well, I see there's some new buildings going up in Leeds, so something's happening here. I don't know if people like them or not, but I'm not commenting on that.
Yeah, it's starting to look more like North America than it does.
It looked a lot different because to me, because I haven't been here for I think 6 years or something like that. The last time was the Brunel Social Club, played with October Crisis. Not October Crisis, but Gene October and his band. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
They had great song, Right to Work. Anyways, so first time back, but I see all these new buildings here. But to me, like before, the skyline of Leeds never changed. Yeah. But it has.
Now it has.
Obviously, some money's come in. I can see that, right?
Definitely.
So.
And you going back and talking history, you've just released all these old songs and demos. How did that come about?
Well, my old buddy Randy Rampage passed away in August 2018, and a bunch of my really good friends that I grew up with, and we all played our first bands together, and had a bunch of them had been members of D.O.A. They had. A bunch of them had passed away within the last 5 years, right? So so I thought I'd try and put on a record that was kind of a tribute to them. So it tracks from those years, right? So Randy, Chuck, and I are on most of them, or like all of them pretty well. And then there's also, Dave Gregg's involved, and Wimpy and Dimwit. So, I mean, those are the guys that are gone, is Randy, Wimpy, Dimwit, and Dave Gregg, right? So, yeah. It's called 1978. Son's sudden death. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a double album, and it looks beautiful. We haven't picked it up yet. We're going to after.
No. It's everybody's pretty happy. I was pretty happy with it. I sat on it for about 6 months. Changed the order about 6-7 times, and finally I just gotta get this out. I can't sort of sit there and playing the tracks over and over again in a different order. I finally.
This is it. This is good.
I found some really cool old photos from an old friend of mine that we used on the inside and out and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So you've got some real history in that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Very personal.
Yeah, and it's also really raw is what I like about it, because there's stuff we're just the funny stuff is in there. And to me, that's a big, a lot of people think is, D.O.A. being loud, D.O.A. being political, but I think also people think as D.O.A., at least some of the time being pretty funny, and what's the right word? Being not frivolous with the facts, but irreverent.
Yes.
Being very irreverent towards society, which I think is an important thing.
Absolutely.
To me, that's always a big part of punk rock.
Absolutely, I agree with you completely. political. You'd ran.
Don't mind the Budweiser. It's
Yeah.
crap, but that's what they gave me for free. Right? I'm just gonna have I've been driving all day, so.
Have the Bud. Nobody will complain.
Nobody else will drink it.
Except for Gangrene. They drank it.
Yes, Gangrene always had a cooler full of Budweiser. I never could figure that out, right? But anyways, yeah.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Geez, and I lost track. Budweiser. Back. Political. Yes, you ran many times.
Yes.
For councillor in your local
I ran
community.
For 4 times for provincial, which is for British Columbia. So the equivalent, I don't know, you don't really have that level of government here.
No,
Like county, I guess
yeah.
would be in the sense for
yeah.
England. In the States, it would be the equivalent like a state, a congressperson.
Exactly.
So I ran that for the Green Party for that position in BC 4 times, lost every time, and I finally ran as a Green in my hometown of Burnaby as for city council, and I was elected.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see that because
Yeah,
I know you'd run so many times.
Yeah, I had a lot of practice.
Yes, exactly. You ran a great campaign then.
Yeah, well, I mean, our opponents, they actually outspent us. I think it was 60-1, which was really good. But we got rid of the old mayor, and we got me, who I worked with. He ran as an independent, but we had a very similar platform. Yeah. So with me and him in there, that's really changed the dynamic of city politics for the better.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah.
But how do you think that your political views, because you are not one to hold back on your thoughts on things, how do you think that's impacted your political life?
Well, I mean, part of the thing about being in politics is there's an awful lot of listening involved, which I always said that the politician that doesn't listen should be fired, or removed from office, right? Because usually you get in there and then they don't listen, right? So, so I'm trying to take the same approach that I have with D.O.A. The talk minus action equals 0. Yeah. That you have to try and find a way to further the interest of the people and further grassroots democracy, so people feel like they're involved and have a say. Not just feel like they're involved, but they are involved and have a say, I should say. So it hasn't tempered that much. I mean, I've been involved in environmental pushing to try and save the environment since I was 18 or 19, right?
So your life passion, pretty much.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, right? I mean, probably as much as kind of on the social level, like trying to help people with through various causes and stuff like that. So, but the environmental thing is obviously becoming a bigger and bigger thing as time moves on. And in Canada, it's finally we're having a big election in October, like a federal election, and for the first time ever. I mean, usually the top issues are the healthcare system and the economy. Yeah. Guess what? What moved into number 1 was the environment when they polled Canadians in general, not just people in my hometown or whatever, but in the entire country, 37 million of us, right? So, yeah.
That is really good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how has Extinction Rebellion been happening over there? I haven't seen much reports about any Extinction Rebellion. It's people here in England, they've been stopping traffic in London, blocking roads.
Okay, yeah, and the kids walking out of high school.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what, that expression I have heard, but I don't know how much it's being used there. Yeah. It probably is, but it hasn't taken off. I don't think it has here, but people are definitely involved in different environmental protests. One of the big things going on in my hometown is there's a pipeline running from Edmonton, which is way in the north of Alberta, right? So down to my hometown of Burnaby, we're right next to Vancouver. And so they're trying to triple the capacity of the pipeline, right? And then ship it through really delicate waters at what we call the Coast Salish Sea. And, if any of those tankers went down, it would be like a absolute complete disaster for marine life and so many things associated with it. So we've been working hard to try and stop that. So that's actually been kind of the big issue. And besides we're working towards, we're trying to work towards net zero GHGs by 2030. I don't think we're going to come close unless we get a different bunch of people having a say over that. There's too much business interest in it, and there's too much. The big problem is that what governments do, they subsidize the oil companies, and there's a lot of people that need subsidizing. They give them all sorts of tax breaks, and they're helping to kill off the planet at the same time too, while making enormous profits.
Exactly, and it's a scary thing when you see that there are forest fires in the Arctic. I mean, what's going on? Why are we letting this happen? And so I'm glad that there are people out there working loudly about it.
Yeah, people have to get raise shit about it, right? So it's important to get out there and do what you can. And there's been lots of stuff like kids are getting involved. Like there's the school strikes along that line. Lots of senior citizens protesting, getting arrested, blockading stuff type thing, and which has been pretty similar. That BC's always really had a high environmental consciousness. And but at the same time too, we've also had incredible amount of companies that are like resource companies that have been predicated on mining for oil, gas, logging, minerals, and unfortunately, some of those companies have been, but a lot have not been responsible corporate citizens. So,
And we got to fix this fast, basically.
Yeah, no, time's running out.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I don't lose hope. I still got hope. Anything's possible.
Yes, without hope, we're lost.
Yes. So you lose hope, then it's not great.
You're heading up to Blackpool next, yes?
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to Rebellion?
Yeah, Rebellion is great. I think it's the best punk rock festival in the world. Where else could you go and see that many bands and you only have to walk about 200 yards? Punk rock bowling in Vegas is pretty great too, but it's a bit more spread out, and it's harder to get tickets to go see stuff, right? But I'd call that my second favorite punk rock festival. But Rebellion is the best one if you ask me, so.
Well, I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy you there, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me tonight.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay. Talk minus action equals 0. I'm JOEY Shithead.